All right, faces are filling my screen. Hi. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Good to see your hands. Good to see your faces. Really glad you're here. I'm just going to look for a second at the waiting room. Oh, hi, Moon. I think, who's that in the very back? Oh, who is on there? Oh, there's Nicole. How cute. You guys, if you look at the name called Moon Smith, on your screen. It's our staff, Nicole, CFP activist Nimala, CFP activist Noah at our Philly chapter friends' house all together joining us. They're on the US tour and they are jumping in to be with us today. So that is a joy. All right, well, I'm going to get us started as people continue entering from the waiting room. Um, For those who I haven't got to meet yet, my name is Tiffany. I'm the executive director of American Friends of Combatants for Peace, and we are so grateful that you've all joined us today. Thank you. If this is your first talk with us, Combatants for Peace is a grassroots movement of Israelis and Palestinians working together nonviolently to end the occupation and bring peace, equality, and freedom to their homeland. The movement was founded almost 20 years ago by Israeli and Palestinian combatants from opposing sides who chose to lay down their weapons and work together for a just peace. They have been nominated 2 times for a Nobel Peace Prize. American Friends is the U.S. arm of the movement, and all of us here make up a diverse community that extends beyond borders to work for collective liberation in Palestine, Israel, and our own communities. Together, we believe in a world where all people live in peace, justice, dignity, and liberty. Our talk today is called The Next Generation Speaks: Youth, Co-Resistance, and Repair. We are so blessed to have 2 youth activists, Abigail and Tarek, join us to share their stories, experiences, and leadership in nonviolent co-resistance and how the next generation is shaping the future of the land. Before you all jumped in, we were just telling them, we are all looking forward to gleaning hope from them as they represent what is possible for the future, and they are forging the future as young leaders. Our talk will be an hour and 15 minutes, and it will be recorded. We'll send out a copy to the recording tomorrow. And we do invite audience questions throughout the talk, so you can send your questions to Lindsay, whose profile says send questions here. Thank you so much, Lindsay. Um, I also want to thank our moderator and our CFP sister, Mia Baran. Mia is a human rights activist with a background in gender education, law, and community development. She serves as CFP's programs director through the Israeli office, organizing solidarity and co-resistance actions with Palestinian communities suffering severe settler and military violence, as well as advocating for and raising awareness among diverse audiences through campaigns and varied educational programs. So Mia, thank you for being our guide today. Abigail and Tarek, thank you for being our leaders and inspiration. And I will now hand it over to Mia.
Thank you so much, Tiffany, and thank you, our American friends, for organizing this talk. I'm also very excited to hear our next generation of activists and hopefully get some hope from them. So, hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. We are really honored to have today with us 2 young leaders, Abigail and Tarek, Israeli and Palestinian, who have participated in our flagship program, the Freedom School. We will tell you more about it. And they are taking part in joint nonviolent actions in Combatants for Peace and wherever they can, basically. These youth are showing us what courage, resilience, and hope look like in a region where conflict and division are daily realities. Today, we will hear directly from them about their experiences, the impact of the Freedom School, and the role they see for young people in creating a different future in Israel and Palestine. So, just to give you some background on what is this Freedom School we are so thrilled about. It's a transformative program that trains young people in nonviolent action, conflict resolution, and leadership, giving them the tools to take action for justice in their communities. Our speakers today, Abigail and Tarek, are alumni of this program, the Freedom School, and their stories will show how this training turns knowledge into action. So the program takes place first in a uninational forum to, start getting people out of their shells because sometimes, people come from all over and sometimes it's more open community, sometimes not necessarily. And that's the first forum. Then the alumni of each uninational forum meet each other to talk and work together, Palestinians and Israelis, in solidarity with Palestinian communities throughout the West Bank. So what we did and what we do annually is olive harvest, planting olive trees instead of those who were plucked, fixing water channels in the arid Jordan Valley, protesting together for a better future. So it's a lot of different actions. And just 2 weekends ago, the alumni, part of them met for a whole weekend dedicated just for them for a political imagination workshop and helping rehabilitate the SARS farm, which is located in the Bethlehem area. So this is a bit of background, and now to the more exciting part, meeting our speakers. So a little bit about them. Abigail Shore is an activist and a student from Tel Aviv. Her work centers around nonviolent resistance and joint struggle for a better future, as she is actively engaged with combatants for peace and protective presence in the West and in protective presence in the West Bank with other activist groups. She facilitated the Nakba ceremony and also produced the shared memorial ceremony. So thank you. And Tarek Sidar is an activist and facilitator from Jericho. For the past 3 years, he has been actively engaged with Combatants for Peace, volunteering in various community activities such as olive harvest, tree planting, and water well restoration in marginalized villages. And Tarek also participates in solidarity actions and facilitates workshops on nonviolent communication. Through his work, he strives to promote dialogue, empathy, and mutual understanding across divided communities. So thank you both for being with us today. And it's already very impressive. I have the chance to actually know you personally, so I know how even more impressive you are. So maybe let's start with telling us a bit about your personal journey, just a little bit on what inspired you to get involved in nonviolent activism. I mean, most people don't do it. And how was the Freedom School part of this journey? Whoever wants to start, go ahead.
طارق تفضل.
Has to be you, because ladies first.
Okay, then I can start. So hello everyone, nice to meet you, and yeah, I'm happy to take part in this panel. I'll share a bit about myself. I'm 26, and yeah, as Mia said, I'm a student and an activist. And I think what inspired me to get involved in nonviolent activism is basically I grew up in a family that, yeah, educated me to, yeah, get to know the other, and I grew up really privileged, and like the people surrounding me were pretty much from the same background. And I think there was always this curiosity in knowing other communities, other stories. Um, so that was there since I was a child. And then, like, the first movement that I took part in was Women Wage Peace, which maybe some of you know. I was like 16, and I remember, first of all, being like very excited and enthusiastic about, yeah, doing something in our region. But I was also very like without knowledge because I haven't learned in my school anything like regarding the history of the region and regarding Palestinian narrative. And I just remember, like, I'll share with you this vision of a 16-year-old going to the biggest march actually that was ever done with women, 10,000. It was in 2016. It was 3,000 Israeli women and 7,000 Palestinian women. And I just remember being like so nervous because I had this responsibility. And I remember like the Palestinian women were late. And I got like a bit upset. I was like, why are they late? Come on. It's like we were so, like, yeah, like preparing for this big event and march in the Dead Sea. And they arrived like 3 hours late. And when they arrived, I figured out that while I left my house at like 9 in the morning to get, that they left their houses at 5 a.m. and that they were just delayed for like and searched many hours in the checkpoint. And I think that was like one of the first cracks that happened to me in like understanding the reality. And it, yeah, proceeded from there. Like I refused to go to the military. And later on worked in a bilingual school in Jerusalem, where I got to really meet the Palestinian narrative and learn Arabic. And later on, when I was 21, to join the Freedom School, which was like, I'll share with you more experiences later, but it was a really like turning point in getting the opportunity to talk to other people my age, talk about our identity freely and critically, and being able to learn, like really for 6 weeks, learn intensively about what people, what our government, our education system, our society doesn't want us to see. So yeah, I think that's a bit about my personal journey.
Thank you so much, Lily. Tarek, do you want to share?
Thank you, Abigail. Thank you, Mia. I'm Tarek Sadr. I live in Shariko. I'm from a refugee family, refugee since 48. I actually also have a family in Gaza. So since I was very young, I used to be really focused on what is happening in Gaza in every situation. And every time I was feeling that I need to do something since I'm not under the bombing. So I feel that I have a responsibility to do something for these people that are suffering. So always I couldn't do anything to protect anyone or to do something that is really helpful. So I was always feeling that I'm powerless. But I was lucky enough when I participated in a demonstration with the CFP at 2021. My uncle actually invite me to it, and when I was there, he got arrested immediately at the beginning of the demonstrations. So I was alone. It was a really very strange experience, but it changed a lot in my mind. It was the first time that I feel like I'm really doing something that, and there's a people who was who I was thought that they are enemies to me, but they were standing with me, supporting me there. So I was really interested to get more involved to this place. So I start to participate in anything that I see there. I started with the NVC group and then the Freedom School. In the Freedom School, I met an angel called Nimala. She was really inspiring person. And what she gives us in this program, it was more inspiring. I found out that we have a lack of education in Palestine, like many villages, many settlements, many things that we don't know about it. They don't teach us about it. But when I was in the Freedom School, they were really focused on these places. And we went there to support the people that they really needs the supporting. So the first idea came to my mind that every Palestinian student has to be in this school so he can really learn about his country. Uh, one of the situations that is stuck in my mind when I was in the Freedom School, it was we were in a supporting trip at Msafir Yatta, and they showed us a school that the people there were very happy to having it. It was very new, and they don't have schools there. So everyone is very proud about it, very happy about it. And after a few months, like I saw it in the news that the army destroyed it. So it gives me more empowering that I need to support these people, to do more activities like this, to stay with these people. Because once of these people told me that we are the only people that they supporting them. Without us doing these activities, they would be more settlements and less Palestinians villages. This is why I see what we're doing is very important.
Thank you so much, Tarek. And maybe to continue with the point of view that you gave to us, I will ask both of you, and maybe also Abigail, if you would like to share a moment or an experience from the Freedom School that maybe changed your point of view or gave you this new look or this new opportunity to, I think about these fractured realities and separated realities that you described, you live in one place, Tarek lives in another place, not knowing each other, not knowing the communities that we've worked with, So if you can share this moment, a moment, I would appreciate it.
So the Freedom School when I did it, it was 2020, I think. And it was 6 weeks of like intensive learning. We were a group of 12 like young Israelis between the ages of 18 to like 26. And we learned Arabic and went through like went to different kinds of tours like in the West Banks and met a lot of activists and people with the experience and we heard a lot of stories. And I think like first of all, actually before this panel, I wrote in our group, we are still in touch with each other. And I think that important thing to say about the Freedom School is that this experience changes you, and later on, like people that I know today that I see in demonstrations, that I see on the ground in the West Bank, that I see working in like leading roles in NGOs, they are graduates of this program. Like I think it's very important to state out. So I wrote in our group like, what do you remember? Because it was, and all of my friends now replied like so many things. I'll share with you maybe a small thing that I think we talk a lot about our identity, because I think that when, as young people that aren't confronted with the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, with the occupation, when you meet this knowledge, it can create a lot of guilt, a lot of numbness, and also I think, Tariq, you spoke about it from a, a different perspective, like as a Palestinian, but I think also as oppressors, we also have this feeling of like powerlessness of what can we do, and the feeling that you are acting against like much bigger powers. But I do remember a moment where we lived together like throughout this whole period of time. And I remember a moment where we did like this simulation after um, learning a lot and hearing a lot of lectures, and like you feel also sometimes like overwhelmed. And we just talk to each other about, okay, how do we go back with our knowledge to our families? And I remember a really meaningful conversation with a friend of mine that her father is a settler, like in the West Bank, and it was very hard for him that she went to this program, and he's like very much against it, and she comes from a religious home. And I just remember us talking and like trying to understand how, in words, and what can be the strategy, or how can she try to like express what she went through and how she feels, and how is it to meet like people and see things in your own eyes, and how it changes what you think. And yeah, and I think it was like a really good exercise, um, because I think it's an experience that a lot of us feel, that we don't, that you feel alone, and you feel like that the people that think and that are open, um, it feels sometimes like it's not a lot. So it's always important to try to like understand how do we make this message like spread, and yeah, and reach bigger circles. Um, yes.
Thank you. Tarek, if you want to add anything, then please go ahead. And,
I think I answered the question accidentally.
yeah. Yeah, my cat here wants to add something. But I think what you both mentioned is also raising the question of, how actually how this choice of yours, or this this thing that you dedicate most of your life to, how does it impact your communities, or what sort of um, what sort of feedback do you get from them? Are they supportive? Do you see an influence? Do you see, especially in the current climate, in the last 2 years, after October 7th and the genocide in Gaza, I think, the political and social climate became so extreme and violent, even more than before. So I think what a radical thing to do is to choose this path. Um, so I ask myself if you have support in your communities, or do you have challenges with them? Do you see an impact in your choice on their lives, do they change their points of view following you? Who who of you, Tarek, would you like to share?
Yeah. Actually, at the beginning, it was kind of hard to tell the people around me about what I'm doing, because they connected always the peace with the normalizing. So they see the peace building people are normalized people, not those people are really trying to resist in a different way. But I think this is a good point that we are youth, so we have always a different way to describe the things, to show them what we're really doing and how we're supporting our communities. Because for myself, I'm always seeing whatever I'm doing with the CFP is supporting our communities, and it's really important and necessarily to like to find people to stay like this. Uh, يعني in my second year, I started to could I could go with good discussions with the people about it. So I'm always like convince them that the peace building is a really right choice to do. And actually, with in these last 2 years, when the war is increased and the violence is increased, I started to see like more people started to see that peace is the right choice for them. So I'm started to see more people who are joining these places. And I see myself one of this impact who's really facilitate people to how they can be a non-violent resistors.
Thank you. Thank you for, I mean, it's a super brave choice, I think. So I just want to say it again. I think to all of us, but and even more so in the Palestinian society after what's been going on and in Gaza, and as a person with your family in Gaza. So and I know you are also a family of peace activists, so that's always inspiring. Thank you, Tarek. Abigail, would you like to share your thoughts on it?
I think I'm okay. We can move to the next question.
Okay. Okay. So how I would ask maybe like a wider question on generally how do you see the role of youth and young people in today's reality in Israel and Palestine? Like how could you, as a part of this group, lead or shape a more just and a peaceful future, hopefully, and bridge divides and take the older generations with you. It's a lot of responsibility, and I'm not putting it all on your shoulders, but do you feel this responsibility or do you yeah, you can go ahead.
So I think like the first thing that came up to me while thinking about being like a young activist in this reality is I think it means like meeting a lot of pain, because I think that like I study in university and I see like a lot of people around me, just wanting like to focus on their studies and their future, and I think that I think I said also before that once you see it, like you can't unsee it and you can't go back to living your life ignoring it, even though I think more on the Israeli side, like you have this option of living without obviously actively like you're supporting the occupation and paying taxes and so on, but you don't find yourself like taking part in it or doing something to object it. And I think that once you want to stand up for peace and for justice and for equality, then you meet a lot of pain. And I think it's like sometimes it feels like a big burden, and like um, and yeah, and sometimes I wish like I think about my friends, like I have some friends abroad that I feel like wow, they're so much better off. But then I find it also really rewarding in the sense that it's like you meet all this pain, but then you also feel all this care and like, and when you take the pain and put it into action, then it as also Tariq said, I think you find, like, I also through protective presence in the West Bank, you hear communities saying, like, we couldn't have stayed here without the support of your presence. And also, you just create like meaningful relationships that change your life. Like, last week I was in Bethlehem at a friend's house, and from Combatants for Peace, like a colleague also working in the Freedom School. And I think something about standing up for peace, like it changes your world and broadens your perspective, like, and makes it more deep and more, yeah, just wider and more full. Um, but it's, yeah, it's definitely challenging. Like, I think that that I in the past 2 years have lost friends and have watched like violence in front of my eyes and house demolitions and settler attacks, and it's and I think there is, like, yeah, a lot of anger and sadness, and it can meet also like feeling desperate. But then you also feel like there is no other choice, that like we have to, once we see this reality and once we have this strong connection with people, with friends, then you can't go on living without doing whatever is in your power to impact. Um, and yeah, and I think I wouldn't want to live here otherwise. Like, I wouldn't feel right staying living here if I wouldn't know that I'm dedicating and doing whatever is in my power to make a difference.
I can definitely relate to it. I also joined Combatants for Peace almost 2 years ago, after the beginning of the war in Gaza, and I just felt so helpless and felt like, I mean, I was in this field, I was in activism, more in regional activism in East Jerusalem, with the Palestinian community there, but I just felt like, I have to do it, full time. I have to completely immerse myself in this, even if sometimes it's overwhelming, to feel this pain and to be, once you put yourself out there, and I feel like once you get into this, this co-resistance, and as Israeli, when Palestinians become really your peers and partners, then this pain is much more personal also, and not just general. So yeah, thank you. And Tarek, I'm opening this to you. I mean, how do you see the the role of youth in this, effort to make a change, especially as a Palestinian, I think, and as a Palestinian who is taking a very sometimes unpopular stand of coexisting with Israelis and fighting together. So.
Uh, Actually, I see the role of the youth people is very important because youth always have more energy and they can come up with really creative ideas to influence the people, to separate the stories, to do things that is really make an effect on our situation. Uh,
Do you see the older generation also looking with hope to you? Do you see them following you, or do you see them clashing and taking a different stand, a more conservative stand, maybe?
and every time I saw them happy of having a youth people with them.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm blanked actually, so you can skip.
Yeah. 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 I always I can share that always in our field activities. I'm also organizing the field activities. I'm the Israeli side of organizing the field activities with my Palestinian peers. Um, so I always see also Tarek's family coming with the youth and the children, and really, I mean, it's a real sort of heritage of coexistence and joint struggle. So that's very inspiring and I would say unusual. So I wish you would all come to visit us and join these field activities also to experience it, because I think it does give a lot of strength in these moments. And maybe I will turn the question to you too. Um, I feel there are so many reasons, to dive into despair. Again, generally speaking here, but especially for the past 2 years. And I I want to ask you, what gives you hope? What gives you strength in these difficult times? How do you also, take care of yourself? Because it can be, as you said, it can be overwhelming, and it can be it can cause burnout, and you're young. You have a long way still, so it gives you power.
Tarek, I want you to start. If you don't mind.
To be honest, like I lost my hope many times. It was always that a slight light of hope, and it always gets darker in every situation. Many times I just stood and just thought what I'm fighting for. Because the situation is keep getting more worse and worse and worse. And whatever we do, like we're not really going to liberation. Uh, like many times I was in a situation that you lost a friend or a member of a family, or was really afraid and you can't sleep at night because you're worried about someone that is in danger. Many times you feel like you're really unprotected, because anytime can the soldiers stand in your house and broke into it and destroy anything they can and arrest anyone or shoot anyone, and no one can protect you even if you know that they are coming to your house. You can't run, you can't hide, and you can't call anyone to stop them. So many times I lost my hope, but in every time that I lost my hope, these things like shows up in my mind, like people that I know, like remembering how they are fighting for this, especially Israelis people, because it's not their problem. They can really live freely without thinking about us, but they choose to be in a danger situation to support us with whatever they can, because they are really human from their hearts. And whenever I remember these people, I said, if they are doing this, why should I give up? I have to really continue. And if it's not enough, I have to do more. This is my way.
Thank you. Mikhail. Mm.
So you said that we give you hope, then no, but truly, like I think that the thing that gives me hope most is yeah, my Palestinian partners, friends, because I truly like see how, an ongoing daily reality of yeah, of oppression, of violence, of um of injustice can lead to wanting to revenge and wanting to not do dialogue and not do co-resistance. But like all my friends and partners have chose a different path and are like strongly remaining on their lands and with their beliefs. So I find it like that they are just stronger than the reality. And it's like incredible to see. It's like unbelievable. And I think that in a way, like I relate to Tarek when he said you began like what your words with that you lost your hope many times. And I think I find like hope and action is also related like to love, because I think also our it can sound hippie, but like I think our action of love, that we choose, yeah, love other than hate and revenge. And I think like um I don't know, it takes me, I'll share with you, like when I was 16, my heart was broken for the first time. Like I was in a relationship with someone, and yeah, I had like heartbreak for the first time. And I think after that, like choosing to love again, I felt like I can love like even more, that after you feel pain and something lost, then you like your heart is even more open. And I find it also related like to hope and our field of activism, that when you meet again so much pain and injustice and you choose like to keep on going, it's like you're even stronger in that way. And yeah, and I find that like that a lot of the times you feel like living here and doing activism also as a young person, that it's like you feel that it's not worth it. And a lot of my friends tell me like, okay, what you're doing, like it's adding years to to your age, like you're becoming older. But yeah, I like I'll conclude my words with saying that, Tariq, like you said, that it's not a problem of our society, and I disagree with you. Like I think that when I see my society occupying and dehumanizing and not confronting, like not being able to look in the eyes of what we're doing, I find it like a big problem of my society. And I feel the urge like to create a different society, and to create recognition and change. Yeah, maybe it was a bit like my mind like רצף מחשבות. I don't know how you say it in English, but I hope you
The
got some of.
stream of thoughts.
Yeah, it was a bit of stream of thought, but you followed some.
Yeah, thank you so much. No, I think it's really, I mean, you say super important and also like very, I mean, very touching things, and I'm very happy that you both are, specifically you two are here with your big hearts. Um, and we just got a question that sort of relates to what you just mentioned, Goli. One of you asked if you can share more about what the education system that you went through, both of you, taught you about the other. And I would add, maybe if you want to share like how it changed, I guess, if it did change once you got to the freedom school, or you got to these sort of mixed kind of um, scenery. So um, I don't know if one of you wants to start, just go ahead. I mean, you don't have to dive into the entire history. but even just one thing, or a general perspective on the education system that you went through, because yeah, I think it's for people who are not from our area, and even for us, I think, Israelis have all these ideas of like what Palestinians think, and Palestinians maybe have their ideas of meeting mainly soldiers and settlers on what do we Israelis grow up on. Um, so I wonder what actually, if you even heard, if you even heard about the other, that's another question.
Actually, like I found like meeting and having dialogues with our personal stories with people from the other side was like the most powerful education, because like as a Palestinian, I only knew the soldiers with their weapons. I've never seen a normal person from Israel just like me. So hearing their stories and their personal lives and what their fears, what their dreams, what they're like hoping for, what they're doing to their life, like you feel connected with them in many places. Like you want to be safe, you both want Salam to live in it, you both want just to feel free and to feel loved. So I don't want to go into deep details, but in general, this is my
Mhm. I think you can hear in what Tarek says, that he's actually a nonviolent communication facilitator, which is true. He's involved in a very special project that we have, and he's facilitating sessions there. So that's also something very unique. And I guess if you would later like to tell us more about, how do you see nonviolent communication even, serving us in this very, very harsh reality, a reality that is very much the opposite of dialogue and seeing the other and feeling empathy for the other. I'm doing it with hand quotes. So also, if you would like to share about this, and then also Guli, when you will share, I will you meet it from a different angle, because you are leading a program actually working with Israeli educators. So I think both of you have very interesting takes on the kind of mindsets and these structures that our societies hold in our heads. So if Tarek, if you want to go on, or if Guli, if you want to tell us more about what you think about education and also meeting the Israeli educators.
Mm. So I think first of all, I wanted to say that Tarek has a really soothing voice, and it fits that he's a facilitator. So I thought about it the whole time, and I wanted to share it out loud to you too. And it's a heart. And yeah, I'll say about the education system, and I think it actually only got worse with the years, and especially in the 2+ years, the recent. Like haven't heard about Palestinians in my school, and I pretty much grew up and I went to art school like next to Tel Aviv. It's a city called Givatayim, and although it was like presented as a liberal school, and it was very important for the school like to talk about democracy and so on, it never talked about the occupation, like not ever. and not never was it spoken, like, did we speak about ongoing situations and events happening like in the West Bank, in Gaza, even when they were occurring like in front of us. Not to mention that like the maps in our classrooms are maps without the green line, so not showing the occupation, the West Bank, the Gaza Strip. And I think it's like I feel that generally like the Israeli education system is like I went to a trip in Poland to talk about the Holocaust, and it was very meaningful. Like I'm a third generation to um, like Holocaust survivors, that both of them are like my grandfather and my grandmother lost their whole families in during the Holocaust. But I think that there is uh, like the process of the education system is doing a poor use of the Holocaust in order to yeah, take advantage of the trauma in order to become the like as the victim to become the mekarban. I'm not sure how we say it in English, but like to become the one creating a victim and putting out and yeah, taking advantage of your power. So I'll say about later on, like meeting the other narrative. I think that it's an ongoing, like I still feel that to this point I'm learning, and it's I feel it as an infinite process of reading and yeah, listening to stories and also learning Arabic, like being able to listen to news in Arabic and to read articles and so on, because because we are taught so little um, and it's obviously in like it's something done out of reason in order for us not to see, and then being able to use us to continue this mechanism of ongoing like blood circle. Then I think it's an ongoing process of like seeing your um, uh, like blind spots and being able to shed light on them. And yeah, and lastly, maybe to say about like the after 7th of October and the ongoing genocide, that obviously our media is not showing the victims from Gaza and the like complete destruction and the war crimes and um, so the education system is another channel of this. Like there is a National Memorial Day for 7th of October, and there we are like the students are shown of the stories of like the heroes from the 7th of October and the soldiers, and there isn't a critical view of this war, this genocide, what is being done in our name, to what extent this has become, and yes.
Thank you. So I would like to ask, maybe in this kind of reality also, people ask here, like, how did the situation escalate after, or, after October 7th? And if you see change, and I think one of the changes is just, escalation in violence, obviously, but also the how the mindset of people and how the as I said before, the political and social atmosphere just became so much more violent, even in what people say, how people talk and what and the amount of dehumanization, the extent of it. And there was another question asked here, which I think is it's even more relevant in this context, is how do you bring in more people to the struggle? And do you have an experience of like, convincing someone? Did you actually see people in your environment or in the communities you work with, whether it's through these programs that you are leading or in other settings, um, changing their points of view or becoming more engaged in this struggle? And how do you do it? It's a big challenge. So
Can you clarify the question?
yeah. How do you bring in more people to join nonviolent resistance, to join co-resistance, to even being willing to hear a different narrative, to be open to it, to not just reject it immediately, to become less hateful or less fearful, or to do this step toward meeting, and even working together for a better future for all of us. But this is like the next step. And do you have this moment that you even experienced, bringing someone in, that was skeptical? Is it more clear?
Yeah,
Yes,
definitely.
but
Want to go?
it's it's just I don't know how to describe it. Like of course, many of my friends and even my sisters got involved in these places, but how I did it, I don't know. I just was very honest of what we're doing. It feels like the nonviolence resisting inside everyone's heart, and they really want it, but they don't know that they want it. It's just to show them that where is it in their heart, so they can see it more clearer or more bigger, so they can really felt it, so they went with it.
Thank you. Guli, do you want to add anything on the Israeli take on it?
So, yeah, I relate to Tarek saying that I think that once you, um, I think that the political journey is a long journey, and it can reach like, it can be slow, it can be more like some people get into it faster, but I think that for me, with all of my friends and like close environment and anywhere I go, I try to, yeah, just be authentic and honest about it, and like, I don't know, even in university classes, like I find the opportunities. Like I can share with you that this, it was yesterday in a class about feminism. Like my lecturer, she spoke about how it's a feminist act for women to go to combat service, and I couldn't hear it like in these days. Because I don't feel that it's a feminist act to support an ongoing genocide and war that kills so many innocent people and creates like destroys heritage and identity and culture. So yeah, I raised my hand and I said, I think that it's important to say that some feminists don't find it, um, yeah, a feminist act to participate. And so I think that it's like once like it's like this flame inside of you, and so you always bring it up. And I see it like on my friends that once they slowly start coming like and seeing for themselves, then it it creates an impact and and this need to continue like being involved and like not going back to life as you knew it before. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Someone just asked about how hard is it in our communities to question, the dominant narrative. So I think it's what both of you said, I think really echoes this. And I would ask you, Goli, if you can tell us a bit about this program that you're leading, the Land Beyond the Mountains, because I think it's really I mean, I think both of you, after um, going to the Freedom School, you also took leading positions of leadership within Combatants for Peace, each one of you in slightly different fields. So I think it's a very interesting program also in this context of education and working with this challenge of how do you talk about these issues, especially after October 7th. So yeah, tell us what it is, because we are talking about it and people here don't know.
Okay, so I'll share shortly that I work in the education department in Combatants for Peace, and we lead a seminar with two more NGOs, like it's a cooperation, and the seminar is called The Land Beyond the Mountains, and it is for 3 days for Israeli educators that come and learn intensively about the occupation in the West Bank, about the Gaza Strip and about East Jerusalem. But we don't leave it and just giving out knowledge and going to tours. We talk about how does this knowledge go back to the education spaces that we work in, because I think the current atmosphere in Israel is of shtika v'ashtaka. I'm sorry, it's challenging in English. How would I say it?
Silence and silencing. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of the teachers that come to our seminars and our graduates, we have more than 200 graduates that have been through this seminar. So they later on they go back to the schools that they teach in and they try to talk or create space for conversation, ask critical questions, or just give a history class about the conflict. And they are met with a lot of resistance, like from the teacher's side, from the student side, and a lot of the time teachers that come to our seminars or later on like threaten to be fired from their schools or handle a trial or just really hard reactions from students and teachers. So it's definitely a scary days to talk in, but I think always our attempt is to try to find the cracks and whatever way we can still allow a conversation to occur. And even if it's not that possible in the school for some of the teachers, then at least to have a space to being able to talk freely and critically about the political reality. So, and actually, in 2 months from now, we're gonna have a seminar for school principals, which I'm really looking forward to, and it's gonna be meaningful. And we try to. It's very important, like to fight the system from within regarding the education system.
Thank you. I also think that what you tell us about this program, and it also echoes for me what happens in the Freedom School program and also generally in our Combatants for Peace community is this creation of communities, of activists, of of people who otherwise would be very lonely in their unpopular stands. Again, especially in this social political climate. And I mean, it's also actually, finding partners for actions, but partners for sharing, partners that understand the kind of difficulties that we deal with, that we can support each other. And it's kind of, I mean, it's so important and so crucial in these times to have a back, when sometimes we are personally attacked for our stand. Sometimes it's difficulties with our families. Sometimes, uh, I have the luck that I don't face it in my workplace because I work with combatants for peace. But for those who don't, for teachers, and for others, it's a great challenge. So the power of community here is, I think, super meaningful, and actually for me also helps with this, getting the hope again and again, re-energizing it, getting restoring the powers and the strength to keep going. So that's something I think is in common to all our programs, and maybe this is a good segue to ask, how can the international community, and specifically also in the US, but elsewhere as well, can support this struggle for freedom and justice in our land, when they are far away, when they are not here, when they are not part of these programs. What can they do to support us, to support your work, to support this idea? How do you see them, their role, the role of the people that we are meeting here now?
I see the easiest way to support is to speak up about us all the time and in every situation, to remember us, to show our cases to the community. Like I start to see that's really affecting the people there. They become more awareness, more like their eyes more open about Palestine and Israel. Like I see the US has a big part of our war and our conflicts, and it's always the choice of confirming that we have a state called Palestine is with their hands. So I want those people who are supporting us, who are feeling us, to try their best to affect these people, to change their mind, to show them that we are also humans here. They can do many things actually. Yeah.
Thank you, Tarek. And Boli?
Yeah, I'll continue and say that I think yeah, the time is urgent, and that we definitely are not being able to solve it on our own. So I think that international action is needed, and I agree with Tarek about like the involvement of the US in funding the genocide and arms. And so I don't know like from where are you in the US, but I guess that I think any action to, yeah, pressuring to stop funding and to yeah, speak up to what is happening and not let it go on and um, and yeah, and I guess also like protesting, demonstrating, doing what you can in your homes, and yeah, being able to support us in like the work that we are doing here. So of course you're welcome to meet us on the ground and or donate from afar. It's always helpful. Um, yes, I think we need people like on the right side of history to stand up and yeah, stand up, take a stand, and not be um,
To be
and
brave about it.
yeah, to be brave about. So obviously, thank you also for your presence here. Like I think listening to us and later being able to share it and pass it forward is very meaningful and
Mhm.
can also create like that crack and shed light on what is happening.
Yeah, I think we are we are getting close our to the end of the session, but I think this voice of coexistence, of working together, of seeing Israelis and Palestinians on the same side, of seeing us standing together, um, understanding that only together we can have a peaceful future, we can have a better future in the next generations. And I always hope to live to see it, that it's not like you're only for you to see or for our children to see. We want to see a different reality in our region. And for it, it's so important, I mean, in this, also in the international climate of supporting either, seeing a lot of, either pro-Palestine or pro-Israel, where sometimes it's actually not working for the best of any of these communities. I think the voice of coexistence is very important, and realizing that there are young people working together for a peaceful future, for freedom to everyone in this land. I think it's super important to voice it in your communities. And I join all of the things you said about pressuring your governments to pressure us for the right direction. And we have all sorts of things going on here. We have this tax bill trying to shut down NGOs such as ours, that we need to resist also in the international level, and international pressure might really help with this, and sanctioning violent settlers as was before. And all this, a lot of these sanctions were canceled by Trump, and it's and we see the results of this extreme violence now even more than before. So yeah, we definitely need you, and for supporting our actions to keep going and keep educating for a different narrative, for a different perspective. So this is my ad, and keep feeling that we are a bigger community than just on our land. That's always, it always gives us strength. So really, thank you for being here. And I bring it back. Thank you so much, Tarek and Goli. I have so many more questions for you, and people are very much interested in everything you do, and the programs that you lead, and how do you lead your life. And so you should know that there would have been more questions if we had more time. Thank you.
Um, I love to see all your guys' reaction hearts and hands come up. And if you just want to send those to Guli and Tarek right now, and I want to say to you too, we did come here to hear from you and to hopefully get some hope from you. And also, though, as your community, we're not just here to take from you and consume you and learn from you, but also we just want to tell you that we hold you in our hearts and we pray for you and we send you our blessings and you know, everyone here and your elders, we are your community, even thousands of miles away. We stand with you, we think of you, and we are with you, and we will remain with you. So if you ever are feeling really down, just know there is an international community of people who love you and have faith and hope with you. And we are always here in spirit with you. So we just want to give you that and bless you with that. And everyone, I do want to share if you are interested in investing in the work of the youth and the youth programs that are supporting incredible people like Abigail and Tarek. We are in entering our end of year time, and this is when we are trying to close our funding gap for Combatants for Peace and their programs. So, if you would like to make a donation today or when we send an email out tomorrow, your support goes directly to these programs for CFP and Lindsay just through a donate link in the chat. And also just there's there's such a value in your presence here and for you really being the community that they said that they share is so important to this work and that they need. So I thank you for being a blessing to them. And Abigail and Tarek, thank you for being a blessing to us. Mia, you as well. Thank you so much. And it's just a gift to be in community together through such difficult times, and we shall remain. We will remain. So thank you all for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you at our next event.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
all for
you,
joining. Mm.
everyone.
Mm.